Just before our love got lost, you see, I am as constant as a morning star in the sand. Constantly in the darkness, where's that at? If you want me, I'll be in the bar. On the back of a cartoon coaster, in the blue tea screen light, I drew a map of Canada. Oh, Canada. With your face sketched on it twice. Oh, you're in my blood like holy wine. You taste so bitter and you taste so sweet. Ooh, I could drink a case of you, darling, and still be on my feet. I'd still be on my feet.
So what we have as far as the setup and the configuration is the speakers have the ability to be connected by wired bi-amp. So we decided to run with two of the stereo amplifiers from Vetus Audio in a bi-amp configuration. So we have one stereo amp per speaker running in true bi-amp mode. Each amplifier has left, right, and monaural input. So they're summing the left and right inputs for the mono. So it allows us to do that. The amplifiers also have the ability to be selected between Class A or Class AB. We have them in Class AB right now, which is rated at 500 watts a channel at 8 ohms. I think Class A is 25 watts per channel at 8 ohms. There's also another mode, which is rather interesting, that it changes the configuration of the outputs and how the outputs are actually used based on different listening modes. There's a name that they had given each mode. So the first is rock, the second is classic. It's not an equalization curve. There's no form of equalization being used. It's actually how the outputs are configured and being switched. So we're using classic mode right now. We find it to be, most musical, very relaxed sounding, very smooth in the top end. On the rock, it's more punchy, more dynamic, in your face. It seems like it's using more current for the delivery, especially in the bass. Then we're using the Masterpiece preamp, which is a 2-box unit, Masterpiece DAC, Masterpiece phono stage. The source that we were playing from was the Inuo Statement Streamer with its onboard hard drive loaded with WAV files and DSD files. So we're not streaming, we're playing off the hard drive. And then the turntable is a wonderful acoustic signature Ascona Neo, which is a phenomenal piece. We have a selection of vinyl. Obviously we can't play everything tonight in such short time periods. So we welcome you to come back tomorrow and the next day during the show, of course. Sunday, it's probably going to be a slow day, so we could probably play more vinyl for people.
The amps use a tracking bias, even, I think it is in Class A right now.
It's actually in Class A right now.
Yeah, so it's not hot because you're using a tracking bias?
It is not hot per se, but there is a lot, it's relatively cool in here. It's relatively cool in here. The bias is controlled, yes.
So, okay, yeah.
The bias is controlled.
Those amplifiers are true dual mono with a 2.2 kilowatt transformer on each channel
Okay.
and 1.1 farad of capacitance per channel. So you're not running out of power.
Basically, whatever the wall will give you, you'll use.
Well, and this is using a true Dumont philosophy. So at the back of the amplifier, it has left and right AC inputs. So you have a 15 amp input per channel. And then there's an additional third AC input for the logic circuit. So the logic circuit is powered independently and separated from the main power supply that's supplying the amplification stages.
You need multiple power cords?
Three
Okay.
per amplifier.
Okay. Well, you sell those too. There you go.
I guess good for the dealer.
Yeah.
We tend to design around our power supply rather than just design the amplifier. So if you actually take the top off and look inside, it's relatively packed.
Is that right? Okay. Yeah, everything impressive. Yeah.
Can we talk about the price, Aldo?
So the speakers are $269,000 per pair in this finish. The amplifiers are $115,000 each per stereo amp. So as shown, $230,000 for the pair of stereo amps there. In total, the entire system, including the cables, the racks, the Strom tank, all the source components, is close to $1.2 million.
Okay. 1.2.
These are all made in Estonia.
Speakers are made in Estonia. Amplification electronics for Vitas Audio or Denmark. And the cables are from the Netherlands. So we have a European trifecta right here.
And so we were talking,
Crystal cables.
the finish, you can do any paint color finish, but this is the most popular one.
So there's two popular finishes on this. This is the Bronze Royale.
Okay.
Then we also have one called Midnight Opera, which is like a dark cherry instead of the bronze color.
That's the best.
It's very snappy. It's bold. There's two other finishes that are white that have interesting color traces and highlights. One is gray, which was it Nordic white? And then what's the one with the green?
The green, yes, it's Nordic Emerald. It's
Emerald, yeah.
White.
Yeah, Nordic Emerald. Mhm.
It's pearl white with black.
Yeah, the back is green.
You talk about the driver configuration, Aldo?
So the drivers are Accuton drivers. The bass drivers and the mid-bass driver are identical. They're 250 millimeter aluminum sandwich domes. I mean, we don't want to say cone because the shape and the direction of the driver. But it's mounted onto a 4.5-inch titanium voice coil with a very, very powerful motor behind it. So you have this real Estonic driver that is fast, dynamic, impulsive, very controlled. Then we have a ceramic mid-range driver and a diamond tweeter, 25 millimeter. I think I may have mentioned that other than the cabinet being motorized, that the tweeter is also motorized, so you could retract it into the cabinet.
And that was on the previous version too, right?
Was that also on the original Mark I?
Yes.
I think Mike was
Yeah.
replacing his XVXs for that, right?
So you can change the timing domain of the
Yeah.
I got XVXs too, Mike. Let's replace them for that. What do you think about that?
replacement for what?
For that speaker. We both got XVXs. Let's do it.
It's doable.
It's doable, right?
It's definitely
Why
easy
not?
to move into your place. It's easy to move.
With remote control, it's possible to
Yeah,
move
that's
it.
cool.
Yeah. And
Yeah, for time domain, it's rather critical.
you can see this.
Makes a big difference, of course.
It does.
This
That'll
position,
also open your garage door.
if you want. Yeah, but this is change a little focus.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course, this part moving not straight up down, but on the curve around listening point. But if listening point it's maybe a little higher or lower depending on how much you use. And yes, this case it's very easy to adjust this in the room.
Yeah.
Are they lower right now?
Switch the
Now
new
it's
ones? Oh, man, that's.
middle position plus
I've
one.
had it. No, it's the best. Hey, man.